Hey everybody, this is Steven. You can call myself a Kisi game. We are back into Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair. So we did the half-class trial, and the only thing we discussed about we still need to figure out the real meaning behind the destruction of the Funhouse, which we found out for sure it was the two side of it. You actually all combined them all together, which how in the world can anyone build this in the first place? Which I'm not sure what the big deal with Nagito, because he acted very something isn't right. It's like he feeling like we're being so I don't believe be depressed or something. It makes no sense alone. I mean, he was the one who know the secret behind the Funhouse and all, and he wanted to show the photo saying it's not actually how it was think it is, but it was other way around. So, but however, Nagito said the ultimate weapon, it was actually the Funhouse itself, which how in the world can you even use the Funhouse exactly? What, trying to manipulate us, thinking that we're it was actually the whole house together and each house were a different side because of that? So I'm not sure. It might be something that I don't even understand exactly, but we still even not for sure. We didn't talk about Nekomaru's body. All we ever talk about is what's the meaning behind the Funhouse. So that's the best way I can think about. So I'm not sure how long this class trial lasts exactly. I mean, we're almost might be get to the end part, but we'll see how well it takes exactly. And maybe momentarily, if Naki don't know about the other mini saga, and something tells me the game's gonna be really glitchy.
Hello! I hope your day is well. I'm trying to force myself to be more energetic, or else my mental state won't be able to keep up.
What's that supposed to mean?
My heart's thumping like crazy.
You know something really thinking, aren't you?
I might as well have a laid-back, so what attitude and go ahead with high energy. Yeehaw!
What?
But be careful that your batteries don't run out for various reasons.
What battery are you talking about? Are you talking about running the computer or something?
And just like I say each time, don't forget to save frequently.
You always keep saying every freaking last word, said don't forget to save frequently. Which I did, so.
I never expected the Funhouse itself to be the ultimate weapon.
Really? You just said that just now? And also I changed the face cam the other way around? Sometimes during the class trial, so that always make it easier.
Oh well, let's just press on ahead.
Dang, you just can't really that fast.
Is it really alright to accept a situation so easily?
Yeah, we still have not sure why the Funhouse is actually the ultimate weapon. We are not sure why.
I mean, that's not what's important. The thing that's really important is the killer who used the building structure. Who's Nekomaru's murderer?
But is it really okay to believe the building is the weapon? Nagito said it, you know.
There's no way I'd lie at such an important moment. I don't want to die either.
And none of us do.
What happened to the bastard who kept saying how much they didn't mind dying?
He's right. There was a time when I thought I could become a stepping stone for your hopes, but I would sincerely retract that remark.
What's that supposed to mean? You still acting very strange.
Retract?
I'm disappointed too, you know. If this was a murder for the sake of hope, I'd happily sacrifice myself.
You say such falsehoods, per usual. There is no such thing as murder for the sake of hope. Murder is simply murder.
Yeah, how are you thinking it's murder is sake of hope? But still, Naki's still acting very strange again.
Forcibly sacrificing others for one's own desires. Even one as diabolical as I would avoid such actions.
I see.
It's fine. Let's just leave him alone and find out who killed Coach Nekomaru as fast as we can.
Uh-huh.
Just so you know, it's not like I'm getting hungry or anything, you know.
Really? You're still thinking about food again?
Akane! You were drooling waterfalls?
Nagito, as usual, I can't tell what he's thinking. I have no idea if he's serious or not.
Anyway, if the killer used the building structure, why don't we think about how they used it?
How they killed Nekomaru.
Yeah.
It might be better if we clarify the cause of death first, don't you think?
Nekomaru's cause of death, huh? He was horribly damaged as if he was beaten senselessly with a blunt object. But if he was beaten with the blunt object, it wouldn't be killed that utilized the building structure. So what was Nekomaru's cause of death that also utilized the building structure? Crushed by elevator, beaten with a blunt object, dead buried, falling. Maybe that might be the case. I think it might be falling.
Let's see.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
That's it. I think he might have died from falling.
Which it might be explained why there was a kind of like a little bit of a rope thing attached to his legs. Like, why isn't there then? That's one thing for sure.
Died from falling?
If the Funhouse's secret is that it's a structure where both towers and houses are vertically connected, then the killer made use of its height and caused Nekomaru to die from falling.
Are you saying they pushed him off? Where'd they push him off from?
I don't know.
That, I don't know yet.
Don't just make things up when you don't know the method.
No, what about the thing that rope on the leg? It's something maybe point, is it?
Where in that building would you even be able to push someone off in the first place?
It might be possible in the tower. You could push him off the 4th floor when the elevator is on the 1st floor.
Did you forget how the elevator functions? When it's on the 1st floor, the door on the 4th floor won't open.
Saying he died from falling is truly incorrect. You should burn in the flames of hell.
No, this must be something.
But my gut is going crazy right now.
If Nekomaru died from falling, where did the killer shove Nekomaru from? If I'm going to reach the truth behind this incident, I need to solve that mystery next. It's gotta be the rope, is it? I mean, there must be some reason why there's like a rope thing like attached to it. Or what about the broken doorknob?
When the elevator is on the 1st floor, you can't go through the door on the 4th floor.
It'd be impossible to shove off the victim from up there.
Then, how about this?
What's that?
After locking Nekomaru inside the elevator, they moved the elevator from the 4th floor to the 1st floor and made use of the drop.
Hold on! Did you forget the elevator has a sensor? As long as there's a moving object inside, the other door won't open.
Oh, I get it.
Which means the elevator wouldn't have moved either.
Oh, I see.
That must be the threshold of that elevator.
I see. I need to make it clear so they understand that Nekomaru fell to his death. Looks like it's all up to me. I get it. What he means is, like, about the sensor thing, it can't be, like, only moving objects, something like that. It said, Nekomaru says in the previous, I think the first start of the Funhouse, he said he detected sensor, but it's only detected if the body was still there. So it only did, like, if the elevator moves, only depends on when no one's here. So, maybe it's a
elevator is on the
good
1st
night
floor.
button? That's what it is?
You can't go through the door on the 4th floor.
Did you forget the elevator has a sense as long as there's a moving object inside?
There it goes.
No, that's wrong.
So, is Nekomaru been in sleep mode this whole time?
That sensor should only work if something is moving. If Nekomaru wasn't moving inside, the elevator sensor wouldn't have detected anything.
Could it be his sleep mode?
Yeah, that might be explained then, like, if it might be a case, even sleep mode, the elevator will be working on it.
When Nekomaru's goodnight button is pressed, all of his functions shut down, and he enters sleep mode. If he's in sleep mode, the elevator sensor wouldn't have noticed him, right?
Yes.
I see. So that's how...
However, even if they moved the elevator in that manner, Nekomaru would have just moved along with it. There would have been no drop for him to fall and die from. Yes?
That's what I was about to explain, before Kazuichi interrupted me.
Why Kazuichi had to interrupt or something?
Silence, pest!
Now you're calling me a pest?
Holy jeez, why is everybody so accusing of Kazuichi? A way to create the drop inside the elevator while Nekomaru is still in it? Chiaki seemed to have an idea, but what way could that be? Okay, what's she going to say after what Kazuichi interrupt? On the wire. Pretty sure that might be it, right?
If you arrange it a certain way, you can cause the drop within the elevator.
So you're telling us all to think about the arrangement, right?
I don't know what you're referring to.
Is... The hammer is suspicious.
No.
Isn't it about time we went over the pillar again?
No.
What about the oil on the floor?
No.
The doorknob on the floor seems suspicious.
How about we all shut up and listen to what Chiaki has to say?
Silence, Pest!
Can some stay silent, Beth?
Don't be so cold. What if I start to enjoy it?
What is wrong with you, Kazuichi? I think it might be great for Hiko about like the doorknob thing, because the doorknob has scratch marks on it. So, but the doorknob was like on the Nekomaru's below the body. So why is it there? That's one thing for sure. So
if you arrange it a certain way,
the doorknob on the floor seems suspicious.
There it goes.
I agree with that.
Consent. Ooh, Hiko. Really interesting stuff, but nice smart.
Didn't the doorknob have scrape marks on it?
Yep.
That might have been where it got scraped by the wire.
And also, why is it loose? That's one thing for sure.
Is that the same wire that was tied around Nekomaru?
Yep.
The tip of that wire was tied into a loop. If the elevator moved while that loop part hung from the doorknob...
if they did something like that, he would have been suspended in midair.
Yep.
That's right. He was suspended in midair.
That's what she's saying. So, in other words, when Nekomaru's in sleep mode, then the killer like wrapped around the wire to between his legs and to the doorknob from the grape house door, and then come that down and press the button, and the elevator moves down. That's why he starts suspended in midair. That's how it works.
The killer tied up Nekomaru with the wire while he was in sleep mode.
Yep, that's what I'm saying all the time.
Tied the tip of the wire into a knot and hung it on the doorknob to the 4th floor. With that, they moved the elevator from the 4th floor to the 1st floor of Grape Tower.
Yeah, that looks like that.
And suspended Nekomaru in midair.
One thing for sure, like, how did it make it fall off exactly? Maybe it must be to deal with the alarm clock. Like, I mean, even in sleep mode, you get sometimes an alarm clock comes on momentarily.
That's right! He was so well hung! Kinda like...
What?
You better not finish that sentence!
What? Is that reference that I don't even know? I'm gonna be curious.
The killer took advantage of the elevator's unique feature. Only the floor moves. By doing that, they created a drop so Nekomaru could fall to his death.
Yep.
Too easy.
Really? Do you want him to send this to you, Kazuichi?
So what if they created a drop? There's no way you can make him fall and die with just that. What? If Nekomaru is suspended in midair like that, then how do you get him to fall?
I mean, it's supposed to be from the alarm clock, is it?
Because if he's suspended in midair, he won't die if he doesn't actually fall.
No, it's gotta be the alarm clock that might be like set on. Like, I'm not sure what alarm clock was set to exactly. Yeah, the clock alarm timer.
Even if they suspended Nekomaru from a wire, how would they make him fall? There's no one in the tower to push him. There's no way they could do that.
You were saying?
It doesn't mean someone had to push him off. It's possible that he fell on his own.
What? Nekomaru fell on his own?
Yes.
Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode. If he was sleeping, there's no way he could do that. Now's the tough part in that case. You still won't be able to explain the moving the elevator with Nekomaru. It's just impossible. End of story.
Okay, I just messed something up. Hold on. Thanks to Kazuichi, I think I figured out how the killer dropped Nekomaru. Alright, if I use that evidence, I should be able to break through Kazuichi remark 2.
What?
About
Nekomaru fell on his own?
About the...
Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right?
There it goes.
Allow me to cut through those
It's
words.
a timer thing that like sets up the alarm. Like, what did he set exactly?
What do you think would happen if Nekomaru woke up while he was suspended upside down in midair?
What are you saying? Like, how would he even wake up?
But it's automatically an alarm clock? Something?
He has an alarm inside his body. As long as it was armed, it would have deactivated his sleep mode.
Yep.
Which means the killer set the alarm before they suspended Nekomaru.
If you woke up from an alarm and realized you were hanging upside down and had no clue why,
It'll be weird if something like this when Nekomaru wakes up. So like, what the heck? Why am I hanging in midair? And it's something would try and like break out of it. And then not be reason why it says the doorknob says start to lose momentarily. So basically means that like it might die from falling. So that explains why the pillar's been like broke down of the full oils in it.
if something like that happened to you, you would start panicking a lot, right?
Yep. Which I'm not sure how deep is the floor exactly.
Instinctively, your body would start moving. Nekomaru probably did exactly that.
And then, in order to make him fall from the force he was generating, the wire was hung on the tip of the doorknob so it would easily slip off. In actuality, the scrape marks caused by the wire were near the tip of the doorknob, right?
And that explains how it works.
But Nekomaru didn't fall because the wire came off, right?
He fell because the entire doorknob came off.
Yep.
When Nekomaru awoke, he must have struggled much more than expected, which caused the doorknob to break off.
Was that unexpected for the killer too?
Well, that's probably it. If they knew it'd leave behind evidence like that, they would have at least tried to do something to cover it up.
Which the doorknob might be the reason why it was hiding in the first place. The killer didn't expect the doorknob to come off. The reason that even happened was because... what? In that case, I shall use my full power! Whoa! Oh. I see. Maybe he must be using his full force that much. That's the reason why he'd been screwed loose. With a fierce roar, Nekomaru put all his power into grabbing the doorknob with both hands. But... not yet! Here comes the incredible strength to 1 million horsepower! Wait! Isn't it creaking? If you break off the doorknob, we'll be stuck in there! Yeah, I think he broke the doorknob but like when he tried to open it. But it was actually a fake door, but we all thought for sure it was real. If that's really what it was, then that's the clue Nekomaru left for us to find.
I see. So that's how Nekomaru fell to his death.
Now you know.
Do you finally understand now?
Yeah. It appears it's just as Miss Sonia said.
Yeah?
I'm just a pest. No, I'm not just a pest. I'm a total fucking pig.
Why do you say that to what Sonia said to you?
Isn't that right, Miss Sonia? If I'm a fucking pig, you can say so.
God dang it! Are you still being so generous to Sonia? Just because you've been stupid and idiot?
No, I believe you gave your all.
Hey, why aren't you teasing me anymore?
Because she's just being nice, okay?
This guy, he gets off on this.
So thanks to that alarm, Nekomaru ended up falling while he was still hanging upside down.
Yes.
That doesn't mean he just crashed straight into the floor. Of course, you know that too, right?
Is it the pillar you were talking about? It doesn't mean Nekomaru crashed straight into the floor. The moment Nekomaru fell to the floor, the only thing I can think of that happened to was he was collided with the pillar, the wire got loose, he ran out of battery, coal came out of his eyes. No, it was collided with the pillar. Explain why there's oil there and why it's broken.
When Nekomaru fell to the floor, he ended up colliding with the pillar. Isn't that it?
Finally, the pillar!
Which not it. What are you thinking about? It's a murder weapon.
So that's how the pillar shattered, and why oil was spilled all over the place.
Yep.
See, I told you the pillar was the weapon. My gut was totally right.
No, it's not the pillar what you're thinking about. We're just already discussed this already.
Well, the pillar was a bonus. It's not even clear if the killer intended that, or if it was just a coincidence.
At this point, it is quite difficult to find a clue that will lead to the killer.
Then what about the alarm?
What?
I'm positive the alarm was set for 7:30 a.m. And if we map it out from there...
Hold on, baby gangsta.
You're gonna call him baby gangster again?
Stop calling me baby gangsta!
It's so funny! I kinda liked it much.
What'd you just say? Did you say the alarm was set for 7:30 a.m.?
Yes, what's wrong with her?
You didn't check it yourself? Nekomaru's alarm was set for 7:30 a.m.
I'm pretty sure we're referring to the red one, which is like supposed to set the alarm, is it?
Nah, that's impossible.
Why is that?
Because even though I slept in a little, I still got to the tower at 7 in the morning.
Wait, what? Well, that's where everyone's supposed to be getting Monokuma Tai Chi, is it?
Now that you mention it, so did I. There was no way I could be late for Monokuma Tai Chi,
Yeah.
so I left for Grape Tower before 7 a.m.
That makes no sense.
And if we found Nekomaru's body there, it would have been before the 7:30 a.m. alarm went off.
It appears yet another contradiction has been birthed.
Okay, you're kind of weird with the religious type thing, dark voodoo and nothing.
How were you able to discover Nekomaru died at 7:30 a.m. when you went to the tower at 7?
That's what I want to know.
Ain't another mystery I don't understand. Seems it's just one after another. But I can't choke up at a time like this. Just a little more and I'll be able to reach the truth. There should definitely be a clue to breaking through this contradiction. So now I just gotta talk about the time then? Like what time took place? What about the wall clock?
We headed for Grape Tower before 7 a.m., I am certain.
But the alarm inside Nekomaru's chest was set for 7:30 a.m.
Nekomaru died because of that alarm, right?
His time of death and the time the body was discovered. One of those must be an illusion.
How can you tell?
The killer probably did some tampering. They probably messed with the clock inside Nekomaru's chest.
No, you...
Gotta be it!
No, you can't do that. The alarm that caused Nekomaru's death rang at 7:30 a.m., but we discovered his body before 7 o'clock a.m. Yeah, I think I know what it means. She said something like must have tempered with Nekomaru's clock. No, I think he said from the previous one said like it wouldn't be allowed to like change the times or anything. They need to crush one possibility at a time if I'm going to break through this contradiction.
We headed for Grape Tower.
Let me check what this evidence I have so far. Like, I think it's something to do with wall clock or something. The clock on Nekomaru's chest receives radio waves at fixed intervals and automatically adjusts itself if its time is off. Basically, it's an amazing precise clock that can't be tampered with. Not even to set the time. Okay, it's a radio clock. You can't even like set it. So
Before 7 a.m.,
There.
I am certain.
They probably messed with the clock inside Nekomaru's chest.
no.
No, that's wrong.
As Nekomaru said, it cannot be tempered.
No, the clock inside his chest was a radio clock, so it would have been impossible to mess with.
Yep, thanks to conservation logic of machines and all. So it can't even possibly you can't even like change the clocks.
So you're saying there's no way the killer could have tampered with the clock?
Yep.
Maybe the clock Miss Sonia saw was the one that got tampered with.
You mean the wall clock from the grape house?
The clock inside Grape House?
No, I checked all the clocks inside the Funhouse.
Oh, that's what I asked you to do. So you really listened to me and checked all the clocks.
Yeah, but why you had to ask Fujiko to check all the clocks exactly?
And because of that, I can confidently declare that all the clocks had the same time displayed.
If there's no possibility that the time was tampered with, then we must doubt that human's testimony.
Please believe me, we are not lying.
None of the girls will never do something like that.
Then maybe it's a misunderstanding?
You're blushing again. Are you still trying to hit on Sonia? Or is Sonia trying to hit you?
I never misunderstand. I'll crush you into dog food.
This time-related contradiction. I don't think I should doubt the testimonies. I should doubt the clock. There's no mistake that something was done, but what was it? Perhaps we overlooked something. Maybe we're misunderstanding something. Think. If I focus and think, I should be able to find the answer to that mystery. Logic time, which I know is something like thinking time, so we need to think through this, so let's do this. I'm not sure how well I can make it. There's only about 3 questions I get. I'm a bit focused on what I'm doing. I don't want to get distracted. Yeah. Made it. What the Hatsumi and the others misunderstood who the killer was at the time in the building when the murder happened. I'm pretty sure the time. Maybe someone must have messed with the clock then. I mean, as for the radio clock, it can't tamper with. I'm pretty sure the wall clocks must be tampered to mess with, so I want to know why. So, oh god, this is one trickiest one. Oh god. Oh god. This is so really tricky one, is it? Which clock was tampered with? Nekomaru's radar clock, the building's clock, both. No, you can't even tamper with the radar clock, so it's gotta be the building's clocks. That's the only way I would think was so far. And jump. Yep. Oh my god, we're going to jump and loop. Ow. God! Ouch, that hurts. I was trying to go the other way, but it's something gets in my way. Oh god. And yes! Which house had the wrong time? Strawberry House, Grape House? I think it's both. I think they messed it with the both clocks. So it might be explaining why like the time's different. Yep. Which how exactly? How in the world did the killer will change the time from both the buildings?
It's all coming together.
Well, only one for sure.
You said you checked all the clocks inside the building. Isn't that right, Fuyuhiko?
Yeah, none of the clocks had the wrong time.
But what if all those clocks have been messed with?
What? All the clocks?
Yep.
So even if you checked all the clocks inside the building, there's no way you'd have noticed it.
I see. So the killer messed with the time inside the whole building by changing all the clocks.
Which, to be fair, they have no windows to fit each houses.
So that's what it was. There's no way I would have noticed that.
This is truly fantastic!
Really?
Now's not the time to be pleased. More importantly, how much was the time off?
She's right. That's the main problem. I need to clarify about how much time that was off after the killer messed with the clocks. That's definitely the next mystery. I'm going to reach the truth in one go. It's gotta be the Akane's account, is it? About the time or something? Or is Fuyuhiko? Maybe Akane or Fuyuhiko. Let me check the...
If the time in the build...
Let me check their account exactly. What it is, so... Apparently Akane heard a rumbling noise at 5:30 a.m. And Fuyuhiko says... Fuyuhiko saw Nekomaru walking towards the first floor of the Strawberry House at 5 a.m. So, I think Akane is gonna be... I think, right? About...
Then we can only rely on Nekomaru's radio clock.
The time of death.
It's clearly 7:30 a.m.
The problem is, what time would 7:30 be? In our time.
Are there any clues that can be used to narrow that down? If only I heard the sound when he fell.
Of course!
I agree with that.
The sound that you heard. It's supposed to be from Nekomaru's falling. She heard it from 5:30.
That's right. We should have heard the sound he made when he fell. Wasn't it that rumbling noise?
Yeah, it was. Just like how Hajime heard the rumbling noise back there.
Rumbling?
I thought it was just an earthquake, so I went back to sleep. Was that the sound from when Nekomaru fell?
Yep.
Well, a huge body fell from the 4th floor to the 1st, and the pillar fell with it. It's obvious we'd hear the impact sound.
We heard that noise too.
It was when we were gathered at the Strawberry House Lounge.
Yeah, I think that's when Fuyuhiko is like out the lounge the whole time, and recently the alarm starts kicking in, and that's two start gathering.
What is it, Sonia?
Oh, well. That sound everyone heard? I did not hear it at all.
Well, you didn't hear it? Why can't you?
Huh?
You probably didn't hear it because you were sleeping.
I could not sleep at all. I was awake the whole night with hunger pangs.
There's nothing to worry about. What's important is that rumbling noise anyway.
If we use that rumbling sound as a reference, We might be able to figure out how much our time was off.
I heard that sound probably around 5:30 in the morning.
Yep.
Huh? You can tell?
I instantly woke up and left my room. And that's when I saw the clock in the lounge.
Excellent work, Akane!
With lucky enough for Akane, if she hadn't checked the clock, what time it is, and we would've been screwed up. If that rumbling sound we heard was 5:30 a.m., it's like the answer to how much time was off is literally right in front of me. So basically, the alarm sets from like 7:30, and she heard it from like 5:30, so 2 hours.
I see!
Nekomaru's alarm went off at 7:30. And if we heard the sound of his impact at 5:30,
Yep.
that means our time was off by 2 hours.
2 hours? That much?
Yep. Which maybe explained it.
We were starving pretty badly. There's no way we would have noticed.
Plus, the Funhouse has no windows. And there weren't any Monokuma announcements either.
Yeah, couldn't call for like the morning announcement or nighttime announcement.
However, for what reason did the killer alter our perception of time?
The reason is obvious. So they can lure out just Nekomaru.
Lure out only Nekomaru? Oh, because might be something to do when Lars comes in. And it might be explaining why Fujiko saw Nekomaru went down. I think he's about to be doing the Monokuma Tai Chi thing, like everyone has to be in the Great Palace before 7 o'clock.
If you messed with the clocks and used a specific thing, you definitely get Nekomaru to the tower alone, right? From there, the killer's plan was a splendid success. That's all it means.
Besides messing with the time, the killer also used the specific things? Yeah, it's gotta be Monokuma Tai Chi. That must be using the methods to lure Nekomaru in. If they were trying to lure only Nekomaru, then the specific thing is... It's not massage time, it's not. It was Tai Chi.
I see.
That might explains it.
That's it. The killer made use of the Monokuma Tai Chi activity in the morning.
How did they use it?
We were required to go to Great Tower every morning at 7 a.m. for that activity, right?
Yes.
But if they mess with all the clocks inside the building, what would that do to us?
We wouldn't be able to attend on time. That wouldn't affect Nekomaru.
Yep.
His radio clock had the exact time.
That's right. In doing so, the killer was able to lure him to the tower by himself at the precise time.
And when I witnessed Nekomaru early in the morning,
Yeah, he says about 5 a.m. But technically it was 7 o'clock.
If I recall, you witnessed Nekomaru around 5 a.m.
Yep.
And if that time was also 2 hours off, it should have been 7 a.m. Yeah, that's pretty much it. At that time, he was heading over to Monokuma Tai Chi, right on schedule.
Yep.
I see. Now that I think about it, I realize what Monokuma meant when he said those words.
Oh, by saying like why no one comes in? Why you gasp? Or just think about what you're saying.
Too early. He didn't even ask you yet.
Jeez, how outrageous! I honestly didn't expect everyone to ditch Monokuma Tai Chi. Yeah, that's what he's talking about. Why he's saying that like everyone's ditched Monokuma Tai Chi. Is that must be like to try to manipulate our time, like when it occurred. But it turns out like this after all, so I guess it can't be helped.
When you said everyone, you were including us, right?
Yep.
We thought we came to the tower on time, but in truth, it was way past the meeting time.
Ah, jeez! That's, well, how should I put it?
Bamboozled?
What was it? You know, tripping over a foot, or something like that.
I don't know what you're talking about. Are you trying to make something kind of reference around here?
Are you talking about tripping over someone else's fault?
Wrong! Too bad!
What?
Liar! I'm right!
I don't know which is right and which is wrong.
That's not it! It's incorrect!
That's definitely the correct answer. You always get so stubborn like this.
I guess he is. That's why he always been so stubborn.
Let's just ignore the peanut gallery. Now that we've found out how the killer lured Nekomaru, the number of suspects has drastically decreased.
Huh?
Hey, how would that decrease the number of suspects? Don't be a friggin' liar!
You'll know I'm not lying when you listen to what Fuyuhiko's going to say next.
What?
Huh? What the hell do you mean?
It's about witnessing Nekomaru.
You witnessed Nekomaru going toward the tower. Did something else happen after that?
Are you talking about that alarm?
Okay, so I mean, he was been announced this whole time. So, what?
Alarm?
A little while after I witnessed Nekomaru, the clock in the Strawberry House lounge started going on.
Yeah, that's when those two Kazuichi and Gundam were here.
Plus, it was just before that rumbling sound occurred. That's it. So that's what it is. If Nekomaru died when the rumble happened, then whoever doesn't have an alibi at the time is the prime suspect.
Really? Was there anyone who didn't have an alibi at that time?
Really?
Remember now. The sound was so loud I couldn't help bolting from my room. But there was one guy who never left the lounge.
But one guy?
We were both on the same floor. It's pretty weird that bastard never came out of his guest room.
You talking about Nagito? I mean, I know, but like, what did you think it was? I'm like, 5 guys in Strawberry House. Nekomaru wasn't even there because he went to down to the shop to the first floor, and there were 3 with Fuyuhiko, Kazuichi, and Gundam all at the lunch together because of the alarm. And Nagito, he's still in his own room.
Which means that person does not have an alibi for when Nekomaru fell?
Who is it? Who's the bastard?
I don't think it's not him. If whoever doesn't have an alibi for that time, right? You're all talking about Nagito, right? That's why you're talking, is it?
You're the only one!
But it's not actually him. It's not what you
who
believe.
wasn't there. It's you, right, Nagito?
That's right. Nagito wasn't there. It was just me, Gundam, and Fuyuhiko.
Yeah, but Nagito's gotta say something, really something unexpected event's gonna happen. But I get the feeling something isn't right.
You didn't come out, even though the alarm was going off like crazy. You weren't in your room, were you?
If that's the case, where were you?
He must be still in the room.
Please, say something!
If you don't hurry up and answer, I'm gonna suicide dive you!
Would that make you kill yourself as well?
If I may be frank, even if I wanted to go to the lounge, I couldn't.
You couldn't? What do you mean?
It's merely the foolish talk of the weak.
Not only did I not hear the alarm, I never even heard that rumbling sound.
Okay. He couldn't? Oh! I get it. I mean, you're pretty sure I know what I'm talking about. I think it's something to do with those rooms. Nagito must be in the room this whole time with special features. It's something to do with the deluxe room. I'm pretty sure Manakuma say something like there's 3 rooms. There's one in deluxe, the standards, and crummy one. But the deluxe one is something really special. He says something about like a soundproof wall thing. Like you won't be able to hear something from outside. That's not right, is it?
You're definitely fucking lying.
However, that is also true for me.
Oh, of course, because Sonia was in deluxe as well.
It is obvious that I did not hear the alarm in Strawberry House. But I did not hear the rumbling sound either. Is that not strange? I mean, everyone else heard it.
Not really.
To be honest, it's not just them. The same goes for me too.
So Chiaki and Sonia were in the deluxe room this whole time that they couldn't even hear it. Huh?
I was in a pretty deep sleep, so I thought that's why I couldn't hear it. But it wasn't that. I probably couldn't hear it at all.
Couldn't hear it? What does that mean?
You still don't know. Think about what the 3 of us who didn't hear a sound have in common, and I'm sure you'll figure it out.
I'm pretty sure I figured it out already for like a few minutes ago. The only people who didn't hear the rumbling noise were Nagito, Sonia, and Chiaki. The secret is, what these 3 have in common? Could this also be the secret that points to the killer? Yeah, I know what it is. It's gonna spell out deluxe room. Well, I already not figured out what it is exactly, which is something blew my mind like unexpected it's gonna happen, so... Okay, I never expected you can like stack up much. There it is. There it is. I need a... Oh god! Yes! Thank goodness! Finally! I got it! Almost messed me up. Too many words everywhere.
Nagito, Sonia, and Chiaki. The three of you were staying in deluxe rooms, right?
Yes.
If I recall, the deluxe rooms are...
The guest rooms are divided up by quality grade. The deluxe room is soundproof and has excellent air insulation. Yep, they give me a hint about the soundproof thing. That how in the world did they make this? How in the world did they make this room, Monokuma? The standard room may have so-so insulation, but it's still pretty decent. And the crummy room has severe airflow and drag problems.
The reason we could not hear the rumbling noise...
That's right. It was because the deluxe rooms have superior sound insulation.
You know what? Soundproof.
You actually noticed that. Nice catch, Hajime. Are you using your ultimate reserve course student talent?
Really? You had to really say that one big word? Don't call me that.
Now then, you guys must understand by now, right? The true identity of Nekomaru's killer.
Did I?
Hold on a sec! Why does that lead to who the killer is?
Why? Well, that fact just now is a very important clue, and a decisive factor in identifying the killer.
Decisive factor?
Somehow, I feel like I understand what Nakita means. The killer among us. The killer who murdered Nekomaru. Well, it can't be Kazuichi and Fuyiko. They go in different rooms, excluding Gundam. So, are you saying the only one who is in the deluxe room is Gundam?
You're the only one!
You serious? But how?
Gundam, there's something I want to ask you.
If he would hear that noise, if he was inside the deluxe room, he wouldn't hear that noise.
When the alarm rang at the Strawberry House Lounge, you rushed over there too, right?
It's not like he just heard something from his room.
What's wrong with that? If the bell of catastrophe rings throughout the night, it is the universe's providence to stop it.
Why were you able to hear it?
Hear what?
Yeah, how can you hear it? Because you were in the deluxe room.
I mean, you were also staying in a deluxe room, right? Nagito was staying in a deluxe room in the same house on the same floor, and he couldn't even hear it. So why were you able to hear that alarm?
Now that you mention it...
Gundam?
There's only one possibility. You weren't in your room at the time.
So you must be planning something, is it?
That's why, even though you were staying in a deluxe room, you still went to the lounge. Am I right?
Gundam, you have some sort of explanation, right?
Gundam probably couldn't return to his room because of Fuyuhiko.
Oh. I think I know what you're talking about, Nakito. Because Fuyuhiko was in the lounge this whole time. I mean, if Gundam was the killer, if he would have planned to go back his own room, then he was like, oh no, I forgot, why are you still there? Like, if he wanted to pass through it, Fuyuhiko would have just, like, saw him.
Me? After you saw Nekomaru heading to the tower, you stayed at the lounge for a while. Am I correct?
I think to be fair, I think it's like, it's not killer's plan after all. I mean, if it weren't for Fuyuhiko staying in the lounge this whole time, then it wouldn't be compromised.
Until the moment that alarm started ringing, right?
Yep.
If you were in the lounge for that long, the killer who had left earlier obviously wouldn't be able to go back.
Even though Mekamaru's murder was a death trap that utilized the alarm in his chest, the killer still needed to prepare the murder in advance.
Like putting Nekomaru in sleep mode and tying him up with the wire.
Yep.
In order to do that, the killer needed to be waiting for Nekomaru at the tower. Which means when Fuyuhiko witnessed Nekomaru, the killer was already at the tower.
So he's been head start first?
And once they tried to go back, they couldn't because Fuyuhiko was at the lounge.
Yep.
In their original plan, the killer should have returned to their room before the alarm in the lounge went off. And they were supposed to stay in their room. They weren't planning to come out and go to the lounge.
Which means they wouldn't have heard the alarm or the rumbling sound, thus proving they were in the room.
Just like us.
The best case scenario would have been if those two in the lounge had gone to check the deluxe rooms. After all, if they personally saw the killer sleeping in their room, it gives the killer a stronger alibi.
Which it turned out they failed.
Unfortunately, they failed to secure that alibi.
It's all thanks to Fuyuhiko.
Because I was in the lounge.
Would that be really weird? Like, if Fuyuhiko hadn't witnessed Nekomaru and stayed in the lounge for this long time, the killer would be able to succeed.
So the killer couldn't go back to their room, and ended up hearing the lounge's alarm.
Of course. Hey! What are you doing? This is ridiculous. It's louder than the supreme ruler of the netherworld blowing for a sacrifice. Don't go making all that noise so suddenly.
But why'd you come out? You should have hid till the excitement died down.
Will that maybe get compromised at worst?
If Gundam tried to hide, and if those two went to his room to check on him, he would have been found out.
Yeah, that's one problem. Like, if no one was there, they would have been able to check though anyone's even here or not.
That would have been the worst possible outcome. That's why he couldn't just stay hidden.
If those two had just checked the deluxe rooms as planned, that would have been ideal, but how ironic. The moment Fuyuhiko set foot in the lounge, your plan was doomed.
I guess it wasn't a plan all along, because of thanks to Fuyuhiko.
Gundam? Please, can you at least say something?
He ain't saying a single word.
Answer me this, including myself in my 4 dark devas of destruction. How many ears do we possess?
I don't like the sound of what you're talking.
The answer is 10. That's right, I possess 10 ears. That means I have 5 times the hearing of a normal human. The soundproof system here may as well not exist.
Really? Are you trying to, like, falsely testify or something? That's not still how it works.
Is that your argument?
You bastard! Do you understand the situation you're in right now?
Do not panic. The truth shall now commence.
I think your words have been broken already.
At the time, I left my room to go to the bathroom. By coincidence, I heard the alarm.
When the bathroom came from the first floor?
That's right. That's all it was. The world is always so simple.
No, you're lying.
Are you saying it was just a coincidence? Isn't that timing a little too perfect?
And yet, I'm being suspected by all of you. It seems it was actually horrible timing on my part.
I see. You're still holding out. Well, you don't have to admit it. We're going to decide who the killer is with the majority vote anyway.
Really? Now at a time like this? But we never, like, what actually real truth is.
So, why don't we just go ahead and start voting? It's obvious that Gundam is the killer.
Hold on a sec.
You know, Hajime, this class trial, this killing, it's merely the opening act, you know.
What do you mean by that?
Hey! What do you mean the class trial is just the opening act?
I guess Monokuma's saying what I'm thinking.
Perhaps I should say, it's just a farce.
Do you want to die, Nakito?
Just a boring farce. So boring, so stressful. I'm so painfully bored that I might develop stomach ulcers. Seriously! Let's just hurry up and finish this before I collapse from poor health.
Nagito, something definitely happened to you, didn't it?
It's all because of the whole speak final books, is it? Like he must know the real secret behind it, is it?
At some point during the investigation, your behavior became even weirder. What actually happened? Did you discover something?
Yeah, you knew something, aren't you?
Well, let's just leave that fun for later. And finish this opening act already.
Sure, whatever you're saying.
You said opening act again!
Please hold on! We have yet to hear Gundam's rebuttal!
But he's completely shut up. Perhaps he can't argue anymore.
Let me say something.
Gundam!
I was simply at a loss for words after being dumbfounded by your pathetic assumption. In fact, I shall deny the very basis. Your assumption has been wrong since the beginning.
What? What beginning?
Since the beginning?
Based on your assumption,
What are you talking about?
I hung Nekomaru from the 4th floor of the tower and made the floor descend to the 1st floor. From there, after returning to Strawberry House, I was present when the alarm at the lounge went off, correct?
Yes, that's what it is.
Although going to and fro is busy enough as it is, how would I be able to travel between both houses anyway?
Oh, I see. That must be the reason why the contact elevator was been, like, broken for something. Like, won't be able to go through it. But there is some other secret that Nagito already found out.
I see. The contact elevator was broken.
As I recall, the killer tampered with the Grape House control panel, which shut down the elevator.
So why not the Grape House then?
Plus, the stopped elevator should have been facing the Grape House side. If so, the human who used the elevator would have left it at Grape House. For these reasons, it's an indisputable fact that the killer destroyed the elevator at Grape House.
And what's wrong with that?
If the elevator was broken at Grape House, he wouldn't be able to return to Strawberry House.
So, in other words, you can't use the contact elevator. But there is one secret I know for something, because thanks to Nagito's being out of nowhere.
However, I was already at Strawberry House. I was present when the alarm in the lounge started ringing, which means your assumption is clearly wrong.
Actually, the wrong thing is yours.
Are you serious? And here I thought it's already been decided.
Have you learned your lesson, pitiful humans? You cannot overcome this contradiction.
That's wrong. When something is obviously wrong, that's when contradiction is born. There's no such thing as contradiction that can't be overcome. It's gotta be like Nagito's sudden appearance. Like why he's appeared from the Grape House, even though he was in the Strawberry House. Why you don't have that bullet? Well, we'll see how well it goes. Maybe I need to implant it. I never had it implanted for a very long time, is it?
The only means of travel between the two houses. As long as that elevator was broken, your assumption collapses.
Okay, it was.
Plus,
Hold
the
it.
elevator was broken at Grape House.
If the killer cannot return to Strawberry House,
Yes.
Since I was at Strawberry House at that time, there's no question that the following crime is impossible.
It would have been different if they had an accomplice.
No, they don't have accomplices.
If there was a secret passageway.
That was. I found out.
How much longer do you plan to lecture me? Why don't we stop this already?
No, I found a contradiction. It was secret passage when Nagito was going. A contradiction is when something's obviously wrong. There's no contradiction I can't shoot through. I'm going to find out what that is. For the sake of everyone's hope, I'll shoot through the contradiction. Wait for
That
the
elevator was the only means of travel between the two houses.
There it goes.
No, that's wrong.
And the only one who knows about the secret passageway is Nagito. Because he's the one who made the final death
There
room.
should have been another way to move between the two houses without the elevator.
Such a method does not exist.
Even you don't, but one person do.
Then why don't we ask the person who actually used that method?
Nagito! I had to point out him again.
You're the only one!
I had to point out again the last time.
Nagito, you should know.
What are you talking about?
You're the one who made complete the final death room, and you know the secrets.
Don't play dumb. You appeared so suddenly that one time because you used that method, right?
Nagito, why are you here? Because I showed up.
There's a secret passage connecting the first floor of Strawberry House to the third floor of Grape House.
Yep.
Isn't that right?
Jeez. Once again, I let the reserve course show up.
Stop saying reserve course and reserve students. Just shut up already.
But you're right. There's a door on the floor of the octagon, which is on the first floor of Strawberry House.
Yep.
After I opened the door and went down...
Yep, that's the hatch I was talking about. Those Muppets that might be connected below.
Surprise, surprise! I ended up in the Monokuma Archive, which is on the third floor of Grape House.
Which is, I don't even know if see if it's like any hatches on top.
Meaning, the third floor and the fourth floor are actually connected.
Of course, that explains it.
Plus, once you've cleared the final dead room once, you can pass through it as many times as you want.
Only one who was complete the final dead room, or it's just like anyone can go through it whatever he wants to. It makes no sense.
If they used that secret passage, they could have gone between the two houses as much as they wanted.
Infinity Unlimited Flame!
Again? Like last time?
However, what if the killer was unaware of the existence of the final dead room?
So what about it?
There's no way they didn't know.
That is merely an illusion you have fabricated from your own suspicion. If you value your life, you should stop with your scrutiny.
Let's stop talking nonsense, just say something!
There's no way I can stop.
Did you say? Don't make me angry! You wouldn't like me when I'm angry!
What are you trying to do? Unleash your demon? Inner demon inside of you? I had to beat you again like last time. Wire, good night button, which is it? The wires. Maybe the wires came from the
Even if the turbine box doesn't exist, you could travel through multiple planes, provided you use a spacious wormhole.
Oh my god.
However, how frail I say! Your decayed illusion. Shall I feed you to the progeny of vile deities?
Oh god. His argument is exhausting. This needs to make me tired. That's so hot I can't even cut through. I need to skillfully cut back against his word, so he doesn't outpace me.
Even if the deities...
There it goes. Advance.
I already proved the secret passage exists. The secret passage was at the octagon.
Know the limits of your own reasoning! You say the killer went to the octagon?
Yes.
Don't bark, you cur! You don't want to drown in the maelstrom of blind confusion.
Okay,
Allow me
there
to
it
cut through those words.
So the wires came from the octagon then.
The wire used to string up Nekomaru's body.
Which might be explained, there aren't any wires around the funhouse. The only wires it goes from is from the octagon.
The hammer that looked like the weapon, and the chain on the door in the tower.
Which that will be a very important as well.
Those are all the items that weren't in Funhouse. Where did the killer obtain them?
It's from the funhouse. I mean, from the octagon.
The only place I can think of is the octagon.
Yep.
There were various weapons and tools there. I'm pretty sure I saw stuff like wires, hammers, and chains too.
Well, I already know about the hammer thing, that's one thing for sure, because the hammers was there. It wasn't exactly the same thing from the crime scene.
Since those items were used in the crime, there's no doubt that the killer went to the octagon.
Oh, just shut through it to your demon things.
If that's the case, they obviously know about the secret passage too, right?
Yep. Stop saying it's nothing like anything.
It seems this is the end.
I don't think it's not all about just saying, is it?
Normally, we'd end up listening to Hajime lecture us with a very long summary of the case.
What?
But there's no reason to waste any more time on this opening act. So I'm going to end this right now.
Wait, what? I'm supposed to be ending this. It's supposed to be my doing the climax thing, not you.
Hey, what are you...
First of all, by messing with all the clocks in the building,
Really? You just got
Gundam
talk now?
tried to lure only Nekomaru. The elevator was probably
Also, I'm not
broken
clicking
by
it.
that
There's nothing I can click.
Thanks to that, Nekomaru wasn't able to go to Grape Tower, which was supposed to be the meetup point. So he tried going over to Strawberry Tower, just like we did when we found out the elevator was broken. Well, it's obvious he'd attempt that. At that time,
Do we even
didn't
have to
know
listen
the two
to
towers
him
were the
get the
exact
quote to
same
climax?
place. Also, the button in Strawberry Hall wasn't broken, so he was easily able to enter Strawberry Tower. But surprise! Gundam was waiting for Nekomaru's arrival.
Hold on. If Nekomaru didn't go to Strawberry Tower, what would the killer have done then?
What would
Their
that?
plan was a balancing act of uncertainties. But even if they failed, they probably wouldn't have minded. They can just greet everyone the next morning as if nothing happened, and come up with a different plan.
That's
And-
something.
Without such a risky plan, they wouldn't have been able to lure him at all.
I'm going to continue summarizing the case, okay?
You're just gonna continue where you left off, aren't you?
Through this, Gundam successfully lured Nekomaru to Strawberry Tower. There's no way he could fight head-on with the robotic Nekomaru, so by pressing the goodnight button, he rendered Nekomaru powerless without fighting him.
Well, so that's not right.
Hold on! You... What did you just say? That I didn't battle?
Uh-oh, I think you got it triggered.
What's wrong with that?
Don't mess with me!
Uh-oh.
Don't mess with me! I cannot ignore those words!
What are you talking about?
Why are you angry all of a sudden?
You fools do not understand! You don't understand at all!
I don't understand what you're talking about.
Ha! You make me laugh! After all this time, you still don't understand anything at all!
I don't understand anything. What does that mean?
Yeah, can you get an explanation what it is?
It appears I cannot finish just yet.
Can you still got more arguments?
Maybe I'm just a human destined for hell. However, I cannot finish just yet. I cannot finish!
Of course, we had one big thing.
What do you intend to do?
It's obvious! I'm going to destroy your illusory assumptions!
Are you saying you still have more? You still have room to argue?
Your words. You said I pressed Nekomaru's goodnight button.
Yeah, that's the only way to get an opponent to sleep, right?
However, that button was on the back of Nekomaru's neck. To press it, I'd have to get behind him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. If you, even Nick Gunn really trying to get Nekomaru's button from behind, would Nekomaru just, like, dodge him?
It's not easy to get the drop on Coach Nekomaru.
Yeah.
It's even more difficult if it's a one-on-one situation.
Just as I thought. Truly frail. Succumbing so easily to this simple argument. It was just a mere illusion. If you want to set me up as the killer, at least surpass your own human limitations.
That's wrong, Gundam. You're the one who's wrong.
Such a wonderful line. However, I cannot say that I'm satisfied.
Are you still mad?
Listen well. I shall teach you 2 tips for making someone admit their defeat.
How am I gonna do the thing then?
First, you must crush them with your own overwhelming power. And as for the other, you must provide a reason that will persuade that human. You have not fulfilled either of those yet.
Well, he does all the time, but every class trial. I guess you really don't want to admit it. Then, just as you requested, I will provide an argument that will leave you no choice but to persuade it. Okay, we gotta do one last thing. Panatalk action. I haven't seen use it for a while, so.
I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesies! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesies! Show me the cadaver!
God dang it.
I won't let you!
Beaver,
For the Tanaka Empire!
I have no idea what I'm doing.
Crushed as David prophesies! I won't let you!
I mean, I try to know what it was exactly, but it feel like I hadn't used it.
Crushed as David prophesies! For the Tanaka Empire! I
Negative.
won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesies! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesies! Show me the cadaver!
God.
It's Nekomaru's back. Do you really
The
think I can get
for Dog Davis.
This is the end!
Oh, you used your hamster, didn't you? You used your own hamster to press the button.
Even if you didn't get behind Nekomaru, You should have been able to press the button on the back of his neck.
Of course, it's the hamster. It's the one for sure. He has his own hamster to press the button.
As long as you had the power of the hamsters you keep with you.
Oh my god. I never expected he used his own hamster to press it.
Are you seriously saying he used his hamsters to press the button on the back of Nekomaru's neck?
Weird, does it?
Of course that'd be impossible for a normal hamster, but it would have been possible for Gundam. In fact, we saw that with our very own eyes, right?
Oh, you mean the one that they try to open the Starbase door button? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, that's one. Administrator of Evil, in accordance with your ancient contract, the time has come to lend me your aid. Pierce through Supernova Silver Fox Sandy! Ah, it pressed the button. Truly, this is the skylight limitation art of a demon mouse. Soon, the door of destiny shall open!
Now that you mention it, after Ibuki was killed in the music venue, one of Gundam's hamsters retrieved the piece of wallpaper from the baton lighting, right?
Of course, they did the previous case as well.
Hey, with your friends and their exceptionally smart brains, it must have been possible
And the hamster becomes accomplices? Wouldn't that be weird?
to secretly get one of them behind Nekomaru and press the button on the back of his neck.
How about it, Gundam?
Now you set defeat. Okay, I think he lost it.
Not just myself, but you actually brought up how splendid my subordinates are. I have no recourse but to admit it.
Oh, you really confessed it, did you?
Admit it? Did you say you admit it?
Of course he did.
It appears I've obtained a one-way ticket to hell. Fine! Then you must trample me underfoot and advance. Victory can only be built upon a foundation of corpses. You cannot find peace without sacrifice anywhere. Now, trample this life. Trample it as though it were mere trash on the side of the road. Pull
What?
the curtain strings of this worthless performance with your own two hands.
Well, you want me to do it right now? To finish it? Okay. This isn't what you want, Gundam. Okay. Stuck one. Who set the launch clock's alarm? Yeah? Last stock. The hammer. And the elevator button.
Here's everything that happened in
Okay,
this case.
done. I'm not sure what the big deal. I made a mistake, so.
Let's first go over the many tricks the killer prepared before they committed the crime.
Oh my god, that's a lot, is it?
First, they destroyed the contact elevator.
By pulling the switch like that?
This separated Nagito and the others in Strawberry House from our group in Grape House. Next, they lured Nekomaru out by himself by turning back all the clocks in the Funhouse by 2 hours. Additionally, in order to secure an alibi, the killer went to the Strawberry House lounge and set the wall clock's alarm to 5:30 a.m.
Okay.
After finishing their preparations, the killer went to Strawberry Tower with the necessary tools in hand. They obtained these tools from the octagon, which you can enter once you clear the final deadline. This means the killer
That wasn't there
discovered
before.
the secret of the Funhouse faster than anybody else. That secret being, Strawberry House and Grape House are actually the same building.
Even the way that we opposed for the killer.
On the morning of the incident, Nekomaru woke up and headed over to Grape Tower for a specific reason. There, Fuyuhiko, who was at the lounge by coincidence, witnessed Nekomaru. According to Fuyuhiko's testimony, that was around 5 a.m., but by that point, the killer had already messed with our perception of time. In actuality, Fuyuhiko witnessed Nekomaru at 7 a.m. That's also the same time Monokuma Taichi begins. Nekomaru went to Grape Tower to participate in that.
Which can't.
However, because the contact elevator was broken, Nekomaru was unable to go to Grape Tower. So he decided to try going to Strawberry Tower.
Which why? There was no point in going to the Great Tower. For Darth Davis of a
The
destruction!
killer was waiting for him there.
We're attacked by the hamsters!
With the power of hamsters, they were able to press the good night button on the back of Nekomaru's neck.
Which still, I know it's very cute for those hamsters, but why? They use those hamsters as subordinates.
This forced him to enter sleep mode, rendering him immobile. From there, the killer began preparing to use the ultimate weapon.
Which is the tower, right?
First, they set the alarm in Nekomaru's chest to 7:30 a.m. so he'd wake up. Then they tied him up with a metal wire, tied the tip of the wire into a loop, and hung it on the doorknob.
Of course.
After leaving Strawberry Tower, the killer then destroyed the door button to Strawberry Hall.
To make sure you not go in there.
They did this to keep us from entering Strawberry Tower, and to keep us from discovering the secret of the building's structure that they used to kill Nekomaru. Then, they used the secret octagon passageway to travel to Grape House.
Yep.
After arriving at Grape Hall, they pressed the button to open the door to the tower. When that happened, the elevator-like floor of the tower began descending.
Which I'm not sure how deep is down there exactly. I might be curious, I'd like to see it.
And Nekomaru's body was still inside, dangling upside down in midair from the wire. The killer entered Grape Tower to see if their setup was successful, and placed a hammer on the floor to look like the weapon, then wrapped a chain around the back door. This was done to make us falsely believe we couldn't enter the tower from Strawberry Hall.
Yep.
With this, the killer finished their setup and tried to go back to their room using the secret passage,
Even was successful, but it turned out worse thanks to Fujiko.
so they could craft their alibi when Nekomaru died from the fall.
Yep.
But something unexpected happened. Fuyuhiko, who saw Nekomaru earlier, was still at the lounge.
Yep.
As a result, the killer couldn't return to their room, and with no options available, time ran out.
Which is like, oh dang it! Why would Fujiko go in the lounge in the first place?
The lounge's wall clock alarm started ringing at 5:30. Well, actually 7:30. To avoid a worst-case scenario, the killer was forced to appear in front of Fuyuhiko with the others.
Look at see how like wrinkly it is.
When the wall clock's alarm rang, that was also the same time Nekomaru was waking up.
And that happens.
He woke up while he was still hanging upside down, so he couldn't help but sway his body powerfully. Originally, the loop of wire was only supposed to slip off the doorknob, but because there was a heavier load than expected, the doorknob ended up breaking.
Yep.
Nekomaru fell from the 4th floor all the way to the 1st floor.
Boom.
He crashed into the pillar, which decapitated him on impact, and died. The sound of Nekomaru's impact echoed throughout the funhouse. However, by this point, the killer's plan was about to fail, thanks to the broken doorknob and Fuyuhiko. Meaning, the killer is someone who wouldn't have heard the alarm if they were in the deluxe room.
Yep.
They also wouldn't have been able to return to their guest room, because Fuyuhiko was at the lounge.
Well, now I know.
That someone is Gundam Tanaka. I can't think of anyone else but you.
You and your little hamsters. Oh, why would you do this to us?
Splendid. That was splendid. For a mere human, you did quite well.
Stop. Stop it already. Stop using weird words to avoid the truth. Oh, I'll friggin' kill you myself!
Well, now you know who it is. You say you want to beat him up, right?
I cannot believe it. I just cannot believe.
I want to know why he would kill Nekomaru.
You killed Nekomaru? I cannot believe something like that.
You don't wish to forgive me? Do you feel regret? Then finish it! Cast your impure votes for Gundam Tanaka! My beloved, deadly foes, let the voting time begin!
God dang it. He already made an extent defeat already? That fast? Oh man, that was one huge tournament event, does it? I want to know how well it did so far. Oh man, hey! Dang! I thought for sure I ended up failed and all, but dang.
This result isn't all that exciting.
What's with the bad mood?
Now then, please pull the lever in front of you and cast your vote. Who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? Please pull the lever!
Did you bite your tongue?
Crap! I bit my tongue at the most important part!
Why you bite your tongue then? You're really weird. Very weird. Oh man. But I don't know why. I don't know why Gundam would do this. I mean, he may be a nice person and all, but everyone's been loving Dubby for them for so much. Even his old hamster! All lies in a class child ends. Well, it's been longer than I expected. Anyways, I think we're just gonna call off for today. And that's all at the end of the class child. That was very that lot, I would say to myself. But dang, that's a lot of things I don't know what to do anymore. I mean, Gundam, why would anyone would do this? I know everyone's so liking Gundam so much because they think they're a favorite and all. I mean, I know reason why. I mean, it's hamster. Why would you think everyone likes hamster that much? Exactly. I'm not sure it's like someone who's a fan of hamster, whatever. So yeah, I will come back again for tomorrow, and probably we'll have to see what the ending will look like exactly. Very heartbroken and very sadness. We're gonna have to witness because we all gonna feel despair. What's gonna happen? So, anyways, that pretty much it for Danganronpa 2. Goodbye, despair. If you like this video, hit the like button too. Light them up. Want to see videos or check out? Leave a like, subscribe. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Later.
We do not live by your rules, dirty words.